where she did an arm length. I was arm length away from her because so she did arm length, and then she hit my face. So that's when they grabbed me up. They walked me back. Courtney was telling me, "This is what Sydney does. This is what she does. Like, I know my friend. You're better than this." And I'm over like, "You don't know me. Like, I'm from the streets of Atlanta, like that ass." So I eventually ended up calming down, and we left. Me and I left, and I talked to Nye about it. I was just saying, like, I don't want to be this person in this space. Like, I just wanted to be like easygoing, and I didn't realize like this was the type of space that I was going to be in, because I hadn't felt like that in a very, very, very long time, and I was very disappointed in my behavior. So the next day, I'm sitting at home and I'm chilling, and I'm like, I think I talked to like Phil, and he was telling me like she didn't mean to hit you, this and the other, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to calm down. If I'm gonna continue this journey, I'm gonna have to just let this go. So I'm sleeping, and it's like 3:00 on a Saturday afternoon, and my phone rings from a LA number. It's Sydney. She's calling me everything: a bitch, a gutter snipe, a hood rat, all these things. And I'm like, "Hey, Sydney," I'm talking calm, because I definitely was awakened from my sleep. And I'm like, "Hey, like, if we're going to resolve this," because I was already in the place of just like letting it all go. "If we're going to resolve this, like, this is not how we're going to have a conversation." So she's still yelling and screaming, cursing me out. This was after some date that she had with her friend. Mm-hmm. And she's because I can hear her friends in the background. She's like cursing me out. And I'm like, okay, we're not going to be able to talk. Because I was like, I literally was like, Sydney. And she kept going. And that's when I hung up and blocked her number. After that, I hit up Shiloh, because I was trying to figure out who gave her my number. I hit up Shiloh. I hit up a couple of people. I hit up Phil. And I was like, yo, who, like, did you give her my number? I ended up finding out it was a producer that gave her my number. The producer gave her my number supposedly under the pretenses that she was going to call and we were going to talk it out, because he was like very apologetic, like, "Oh my God, I just feel like everybody should respect everybody." But that's not how everybody feels. So all I know is that rooftop situation, that story is missing a very key component that a lot of people were not there for, because it was only me, Nye, and Sydney in that space. And it definitely makes it look like I was some wild person running around, which I wasn't running around. I literally just went straight over to Sydney. I wasn't running around anywhere. There's nowhere to run. But I literally walked over to Sydney, and I was like, "Yo, if you want me to be that bitch, I'll be that bitch. I'm not the 1, 2, or 3. I was like going into that whole little spiel, like straight, Southwest Atlanta spiel. It was there. Definitely wasn't my proudest moment. And I thought that we were going to be able to get over it once we had that conversation. Well, I didn't think that we were going to really be able to get over it, but then I thought after having that conversation, we were going to be able to get over it, and it never happened. So that's really the case.
I don't know if you noticed, there's a running pattern here.
Huh?
There's a running pattern.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Every time you apologize, people don't leave it where it is.
So for me, that's a thing where it's like we have to also realize that this is one of those things where it's like people are trying to say, and I think I really feel like that's really it. Like, the show painted me as a person that, I really, like, for me, I didn't think that the Aisha scene was a crazy situation, because that's not how it really, that wasn't really how it started. And I was very controlled in that space. But the Dante situation definitely made me look like I'm a very angry and aggressive person. So yeah, it's like now it's easy to jump on that bandwagon of this is what the show showed, so this is what we're going to paint her as, and this is what we're going to dig into to make her look this way. Why do you think the network told you not to interview me, Niam, Camille, Cornelius, or Shiloh? Because they're trying to suppress truth. And the whole thing about it is I have no reason to lie. None of these people on your channel pay my bills. They don't know me in real life. The people that know me in real life know who I am. They know all about me. and I don't have to. I will probably never meet half of these people ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
never. So it's no need for me to come on here and lie and say this, that, and the other. But for other people, especially people like a Frank who did some real foul stuff to a person, now they're trying to get all the heat off of them to talk about something else. I can see why people will come on here and say stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Walter added me into a whole scene that wasn't even in. Talking about I was at the piano, in the piano room. I was like, yo, I don't
Was
know
he?
where I was at, but I definitely wasn't there.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to come and touch on this whole Zadia interview that happened with Little Black Book on, I think Thursday night. I'm not sure now. I think it's been a couple days. So yeah, maybe Thursday. Um, it was pretty long. Like, for people who are saying that she's a certain way, she certainly had a lot of patience to allow someone to sit there and kind of have her going over all that stuff for almost 4 hours. So I'm going to give her credit for that because that was, yeah, that was a lot. And I don't think he's held any of the cast that long, right? Outside of maybe a panel or something. But just one on one, I don't think he's held anyone that long. So for her to show patience in that way, I think that people need to give her a little credit for that. And I think I've said this before in other videos that I felt like there were things missing from all these stories. And the more we hear from all these people, the more you start to see their personalities, the more you start to get a little more, or I won't even say understanding, because we still don't know what's true and what's not. Because, like that saying goes, there's two sides to a story, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. And I kind of get the feeling with all of this as well. I think that this was a case of personalities just not meshing very well together, and they were all on the same show, on the same cast of this show. And so this is what we get from that. And I think that they've already stated that producers told them not to hang out outside of the show, and then they hang out outside of the show anyway. And so all of this stuff ends up happening. Unfortunately, Zadia is the only one that's taking the hit for a lot of that, and that's unfortunate for her. Because, like I said, and I'll say that again, I don't really think it's okay for people to put some of the stuff on people's character like that for the sake of a TV show. That's not okay to me. And I don't buy into anybody being bullied. I think all of these women were catty. They were all participating in the drama. And you can tell by the way they were, three of them were all in the comments. Sabrina, Courtney, and Sydney, they were in the comments while this interview was going on. So they're not being bullied, okay? Let's be clear about that. During that reunion, after you saw how feisty Sydney and Sabrina was, that, and I've said that I could detect that from their personalities even early on, that these women were all a certain way. They were all a little more I'm trying not to be mean and say aggressive, because I understand people don't like that word, but I will say that about all of them. Everybody that was on this cast, with the exception of maybe Liba and maybe Aisha. I think Aisha really was more on the laid back side, or willing to try to get along with everyone. It's unfortunate that people don't like your personality. They don't like you. They don't care for you or whatever. It is what it is, right? And we are finding that this was beyond the Aisha and Zadia thing like people thought. It involved other people as well. It involved Sydney. It involved Camille. It involved Shiloh. I mean, they were just in a live with Kamisha Reviews, and she has a channel here on YouTube as well. She went live with the three women that I just named who was in this interview. And then they started saying that Shiloh was tongue kissing Walter down in the corner, right? And so it's clear that there was two different teams, and I said that in my other video. And Shiloh was on the BGS team, even though we didn't see any of that play out. We really wasn't seeing Shiloh like that. They put her on a side, and then everyone else was on the other side. And I was watching Dante's interview with Crystal, and he kind of said that there was strategy. And towards the end, and not only was it the cast, but the producers as well, they wanted the one team off, the BGS team off. And so that's why we saw them leave back to back to back to back, right? We saw them get exit. And like I was saying, like Camille and Cornelius could have been down at the end in any of those couples' place, and I still feel like that. It doesn't matter if she shackled him in some kind of way or whatever you want to call it. She he went along with it, right? Like he's still going along with it, according to Alexis, the other girlfriend. So he's still going along with it. So that's his choice. He decided on which side he wanted to stand as a man. So people either accept that or they don't. But he made that decision himself. He could have walked off with any of these girls, apparently, since they all were kind of trying to hit on him. But he decided to go along with Camille, whatever they set up, whatever setup they had going on, he was with it. He was with it. So we're not going to act like she was forcing him to do anything, because I don't believe that. Yeah, so her interview was a little more informative for me. And like I said, I wanted to hear from her, and I want to hear from Camille and Naim, and I've been calling him by the wrong name, child. His name is Naim. So I still want to hear from everyone before it's all said and done, I guess, because they have already started the new season. And it looks like the new cast, it's only 7 of them this time, but they look a little more realistic to me. I think that some past couple seasons, maybe 3, we've been getting a lot of Hollywood people on the show, and it's not really living up to the name of the show, and that's fine. Everybody deserves to make a living, I guess, and do what they need to do to get themselves out there. But they're trying to make the show come off a certain way. They might want to stop putting all these people who are trying to get SAG SAG cars. Ooh, I crack myself up sometimes. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought about her interview in the comments. Did you get anything from it? Do you guys see what I'm saying? I don't really think anybody was bullied. I don't think colorism. I think that was the biggest joke told. I don't think there was no colorism issue, because I think that Sydney and Courtney and Sabrina are mean girls as well. They are. They're not innocent by far and all of that, because yeah, it sounds like Sydney was doing a little bit more than what she was willing to give off. And I kind of felt like there were some things missing from those stories. And Frank as well, just like I said, Frank was the common denominator to all the drama. And he kind of put himself in that position with Mumim just to kind of get to the end. That's what I think. That's just my opinion. Now, if they come back and tell us that they've been dating, whatever, it's my understanding from people in the comments, Mumim is dating someone else anyway. So there will never be a Mumim and Frank storyline or story coming out of that. But I kind of think that like Dante said, there was a lot of strategy going on, and he was okay with Mumim, but not with the other women. And so he kind of wanted to move people around, and he moved Sydney to Phil, and which made Shiloh upset, because they had went that whole time, saying that they were going to come down to the end of the show with each other. And I think that's what she got upset over. But we still haven't heard from her side of whatever happened. So I'm not even talking about that whole incident that supposedly happened outside of the show. I'm just talking about as far as the show. But yeah, what did you guys learn from the interview? If you picked up on anything by some of the stuff that she was saying. And I thought it was unfortunately that Kojo is kind of judging her based on other people's opinion. I'm not, like I said before, I'm not getting off into all of that, because I think that some of these people are leaving things out in these stories, and I've said that already, and I believe that. And I wasn't going to judge her based on what they were saying. I think they were doing things as well, and they're just not being honest about that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and what do you think about the new season if you watched the new episode last night. Like I said, there's only 7 couples, so I guess it's going to end a little earlier, faster as well, than the last season. And I like the set, I like the look, and so far the personalities that are put together just from the first episode. But, you know, I'll have to see how it plays out. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next video.
Yeah, you too. Go press down. Go down.
You love me more than Dante loves you.
Go down to music. There
You
go.
love me more than Dante does. Oh, thank you.
Who said that shit? Who said that stuff?
Who said that stuff? Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it.
Hey, hey,
Get it.
hey,
Get it.
hey,
Hey. Oh, who's gonna help me with my salon special? Okay, so when I was